So how many of you watched the Donald Trump debate last night on taxes and nicknames for women? How many of you saw that debate? Yeah. I have to tell you, folks, I nearly turned it off. I can't tell you how many times I was embarrassed by the whole thing. I mean, as a citizen, I was embarrassed for it. I mean, the critics of Donald Trump say that he's a buffoon and he's unserious and all this. Tim Kaine last night was an embarrassment. It was just an abomination. And that moderator was an embarrassment last night. It was so much became clear, so much became obvious. And one of the things I'll just tell you right off the bat, the left is paranoid and fearful. They are terrified to let any right-leaning, mainstream conservative ideas enter the public arena. They simply will not permit it because they are afraid of it. I submit to you that they know how extreme and out of the mainstream of American life and dreams and American ambition they are. I think they know it. I think that in fact, I think it governs and defines how they do everything. The reason they are lawless, the reason that they are politically corrupting as many institutions as possible is because they know they would not be preferred by a majority of people. They can't leave it to the chance of democracy. They just can't. They have to skew the game, rig the game, corrupt the institutions. And it just gets frustrating to watch it take place. It's getting more and more frustrating to watch this happen. And while it happens, we have to be treated to the arrogant conceit of these people that they represent the majority of thinking in this country. I refuse to believe that they do. And proof positive, Tim Kaine should have, if this country were gone and if we were lost, this country should have been applauding Tim Kaine last night, and he should have been proclaimed the knockdown winner. But that's not what happened. Even the drive-by media is embarrassed of Tim Kaine and realizes that he blew it. So their cover story is, well, you know what? He intended to lose it. They made a calculation on the Clinton side. Go ahead and lose the debate, but make sure they trash and tarnish Trump from the beginning to the end of the thing. It's worth losing the debate within the arena of ideas with all the judges, the American people, the media. And who knows? That could be true. But I maintain to you that these people are so terrified of what you and I believe. They are terrified of anybody who can explain it. They are terrified of anybody who can persuade. They are terrified of anybody who can sell it. They simply cannot, in their minds, permit the things that you and I believe, which are mainstream from the founding days of this country ideas. They can't permit them in the public domain, untouched, unattacked, unfiltered. It's really rather amazing when you think about it. They can't allow anybody to talk about the real world. They can't allow anybody to describe real circumstances for real people. They simply cannot allow it. They have to spin the illusion that exists inside their collective elitist compound in Washington, Boston, and New York, what is called the Washington, Boston, New York corridor. Don't let anybody talk about, say, job creation. No. We can't talk about job creation. The government does that already. Government's doing great, like 15 million new jobs. The interrupter kept shouting last night, 15 million new jobs. What 15 million new jobs? There are 94 million Americans not working. 15 million new jobs? What are they? They're part-time jobs, people hired so companies can escape Obamacare, which even Bill Clinton is out trashing now. And let's talk about the results of illegal immigration. No, we can't talk about illegal immigration honestly. We can't permit any honest characterization of what's happening to this country because of illegal immigration. Because there are too many potential Democrat votes tied up in it. So we can't allow anybody to actually discuss this in a truthful and honest manner. The left simply cannot survive in a room where the light shines equally on them and us. And last night was clear and present evidence of this. It was rank amateur. It was so beneath what this country deserves. It was so beneath what the people and the voters of this country deserve. And it was brought to us by the Democrat Party and their hacks disguised as journalists. It really was embarrassing. It didn't even reach the level of high school grade intellect. I mean, it was a shame. It was, to me, depressing that this kind of stuff has been triumphing, and the people who engage in this kind of stuff triumph and win. Let's not talk about stopping terrorism. Because, Hillary Clinton killed bin Laden with her bare hands. Yep. Where were you, Pence? Where were you? Huh? Hillary Clinton, she killed bin Laden. Did you miss that? You want to talk about terrorism? Where isn't any terrorism? Hillary Clinton killed bin Laden. I'm sitting there watching this. And I'm praying that the low information crowd is aware enough to see through this. Let's not talk about Social Security and how to actually pay for it. No. We got to talk about how the Republicans want to take yours away. We got to keep talking like the Democrats have been talking my whole life about how the Republicans want to cut your Social Security and kick you out of your house. And we want to keep talking about how trickle-down didn't work and how the economic policies of 10, 15, 20 years ago have not worked, as though the ones of the last 8 years have. The economic policies of 20, 30 years ago did work, and that's another thing the Democrats cannot permit to be admitted, seen, discussed, what have you. The economics of the Reagan years led to a 20-year boom until Bill Clinton's policies finally began to take their toll on it. The economic policies of the last 8 years are why millennials still live at home with their parents in the basement. The economic policy of the last 8 years are why millennial college graduates have 30-year debt to retire, along with their degrees that probably are not worth much in the grand marketplace of the American economy anyway. The economy of the last 8 years hasn't grown more than 1.5% in any one quarter. It is embarrassing. And let's not talk about how our tax code's an ungodly mess created by Washington, D.C. No. We got to scream about Donald Trump. We have to scream how Donald Trump is cheating everybody, how Donald Trump is not doing his fair share, how Donald Trump is not making proper investments, how Donald Trump is not doing his proper contributions. We must talk about how Donald Trump is cheating everybody. The Donald Trump who has created more jobs than Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Tim Kaine, Harry Reid, or any of these others combined in their entire lives. And let's talk about how Donald Trump is unfit. Let's talk about calling Mexicans names. Let's take everything out of context. Let's just keep reminding people. None of that. Not one instance of anything Tim Kaine was making a point about has anything to do with the future of this country. Now, some people, Rush, it's politics as usual. It's what we get. No, it's not. It's getting worse, folks. Last night, I sent a couple people a note. It looked to me like Kaine was trying to replicate Joe Biden's treatment of Paul Ryan. That's exactly what Biden started out interrupting, being contemptuous, disrespectful. It was the same playbook that they used, that they think that they won the election back 4 years ago, the Romney-Ryan ticket. But this was worse. I mean, there is a gradual decline in the overall intellect, in the seriousness of the things that we are dealing with, the issues, the challenges that we as Americans face. And we were all insulted and disserved by two of the people in that debate last night. The moderator, I'm not going to embarrass her further by even mentioning her name, but she had no more business moderating that debate. Well, I can't think of an analogy. It was that inept. Every question was scripted from a playbook filled with irrelevant, meaningless statistics. The obvious interruptions that were permitted, the answers that were denied, and anytime Pence got anywhere near explaining and expressing what we believe, here comes the moderator to the rescue, shutting it all down. But Russia shouldn't be upset, because even all the polls show that Tim Kaine didn't win. Tim Kaine was thought. I understand all that. It doesn't substitute for the fact that it was beneath us. Folks, we deserve, we're the American people. We're American voters. We are the people that make the country work. We deserve better than that. We deserve better than Hillary Clinton. We deserve better than the entire technique the Democrat Party uses to deny alternative ideas, to rig games, to corrupt institutions. We deserve better.